Welcome back to Mattwo's Haunted Reviews. This is Mattwo's story writer. Amusingly enough, this review happens to be of everyone's favorite cartoon cat. No! I mean Garfield! Top Cat and Felix are the only ones who are actually even a cat to begin with. Apparently Snagglepuss is a mountain lion, go figure. Do people even like Chester? I grew up with Garfield, not Felix or TC. Garfield was my cartoon cat. Generations before me probably would favor Felix. I know my mom does. And I don't even know if people actually like Top Cat that much. But my generation had Garfield. There was Heathcliff, but Garfield's the top cat of my generation. No pun or cleverness intended. Anyway, this review is happening right after the Scooby-Doo one. That actually has more to do with the intro video. And you can guess what I'm reviewing after this after I said that. Speaking of the intro, roll it!
You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl. And it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again. And you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time. You hear the beating of your heart, you know the scream's gonna start. Here comes the really scary part, 'cause it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again. Oh, you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time. All the trees begin to moan, and the monsters grunt and groan, rotting faces full of slime. Don't you know it's terror time? And it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. Yes, it's terror time again. Oh, you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
60 men all lost at sea, all of them drunk except for me. 'Twas I who had to face the storm with nothing in sight to keep me warm. Yo ho ho ho, over the raging sea we go. Yo ho ho ho, wherever the four winds blow. Hey!
The special begins at the house of John Arbuckle, Garfield's owner. Garfield is asleep and the TV next to him seems to be out of tune or something. Then the TV comes on and claims that it's on a common settling station, only to start their programming with...
Kids!
yeah, calm. Settling. Anyway, Binky says a bunch of stuff that gets the clown hating mad until...
Because this is the night you can get a lot of candy!
Garfield then notices a bit too late that the clown said free candy, turns off the TV, then comes the realization that Binky said free candy, and frantically switches to channels trying to get Binky back on the screen. Oh, hold up. That pig right there doesn't really look like Orson, but I wonder... Garfield and Friends was partially an Orson's Farm cartoon after all. Well, it's either Orson's Farm or Animal Farm, because... No, unless it's not a reference, after all. Binky informs the viewers, including Garfield, that it's Halloween and Garfield gets psyched and we get the movie's theme song. You know, honestly, I'm not sure how Garfield didn't realize it's Halloween. Garfield seems very excited that it's Halloween, and it sounds like something Garfield should have already known. Well, maybe he didn't. I don't know how he wouldn't have known. He is a pretty lazy cat. I guess there is the possibility that he's just been out of the loop this entire time. Skipping ahead, it seems that either Garfield didn't fall back asleep very long or the intro wasn't part of the movie as Garfield wakes up to a sunny day excited that it's Halloween. See, look at the window. That's daytime. Garfield tries to calm himself down, but as he first needs to find a costume and a sack to carry the candy. He then proceeds to toss his blanket over himself to prank John, who's carving pumpkins at the time. Didn't even give Garfield a second thought, only to be startled by him a second later. This actually is completely in character for John, though. Trust me. John is not amused, but Garfield makes a funny face. John won't stay mad at him. John saying that he can't stay mad at Garfield because, he's a cute cat. John asks Garfield if he's practicing for Halloween, and Garfield makes a middle name joke.
I'll have you know Halloween's my middle name. Halloweenfield.
Yeah, I never really liked it when they actually try to say their name. It just makes the joke longer than it really needs to be, Garfield confuses some pumpkin seeds for something, and I quote, of the lasagna persuasion. I honestly don't know how he made that mistake. John offers Garfield some breakfast, but Garfield claims he's saving him candy, only to come back several times to eat all of it. That's Garfield for you, ladies and gentlemen. Garfield spooks Odie only to be spooked right back, and Garfield is a hypocrite as you would expect. Garfield then goes on to do some Odie stupid jokes. It's his version of your mama jokes. I hate them just as much. Garfield realizes that if Odie went trick-or-treating with him, he could steal Odie's candy. Garfield tricks Odie into thinking that Halloween is when dogs help cats get candy. Odie is of course not interested as he's not that stupid after all. But Garfield says Odie would get a whole piece of candy as a reward for doing well. The two go up to the attic to find a costume. Garfield goes through John's stuff and finds a chest with all kinds of costumes. This is actually kind of amusing when you consider what he actually went with in the end. This leads to a musical number where Garfield tries to decide on his costume. They both decide on a pirate costume, and Garfield goes to steal some lasagna from John.
I declare this booty property of the Queen.
Wait, property of the Queen? Hey, Garfield, first of all, you are not the Queen. Second of all, you're a pirate, not a privateer.
You be having a mite too many peg legs there, matey.
You guys are ridiculous.
Yeah, Odie, ladies and gentlemen. John correctly guesses that they're going trick-or-treating and hands them a pair of sacks to carry the candy in. So they head out and yet another song happens. Wait, already? Okay, I guess this one isn't actually a musical number. Odie's afraid of the trick-or-treaters, but Garfield shows him there's nothing to be afraid of, and another short song happens, this one actually being a musical number. And...
Kitty cat.
It's more forgivable here than it was in Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. So we finally see them knocking at doors. Garfield isn't happy with the small amount of candy, so he threatens the person, who for some odd reason complies with his demands, and another short montage happens, this time with him and Odie getting candy.
Hang on, Odie. I just had a brilliant idea. Look at all those houses across the river over there. If we can make it across the river, the candy is all mine. Do you hear me? All mine! Oh, wait a minute. Am I being too greedy? Should I share my candy with those less fortunate than me? Am I missing the spirit of Halloween? Nah, all mine, mine, I tell you, mine.
I know what you mean, Odie. He is Garfield, after all. They find a boat and set off. They get caught in the current, and Odie puts out the oars.
I'd make 'em walk the plank if I had one.
I could make a joke about how they're up a creek without a paddle, but man, that would just be way too easy. Garfield naturally freaks out and spouts a ton of random pirate jargon, some of it making no sense as they're not on an actual pirate ship.
My mommy!
So they float a bit, and Garfield mopes a bit.
I'm gonna stop pretending I'm something I'm not. I'm just gonna be me, Garfield the house cat. Nice touch.
And for those of you who didn't get the reference in my Midnight Castle review, well, there you go. Garfield notices there's a light on, which means someone must currently live there, so they head over and peek in the window and decide to investigate
I know.
by breaking and entering instead of knocking.
Tell you what.
The door was, however, unlocked, so they just go inside. The place appears to be deserted, but they forgot to check the front of the chair. You know, you're really observant, Garfield. You'd make an excellent detective. They see an old man on the chair, and I swear to God, the way this guy is animated reminds me of Morshow.
Lamp oil, rope, bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies. Sorry, Link, I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
The old man warns Garfield and Odie about the legend of a bunch of pirates who buried their treasure on that very island and are returning for the treasure on that very night. And apparently the man was a cabin boy on the ship. He might have also been a ghost himself, that much wasn't made very clear, but I don't think he has for reasons I'll explain in a minute. Garfield and Odie try to escape, only for the old man to have stolen their boat with the candy on it, much to Garfield's dismay. Sure enough, a minute or two after midnight, hey pirates, no one likes a late ghost. And the ghost pirates arrive, and Garfield tries to find somewhere to hide. The ghosts tear through the floorboards, and the treasure chest appears. Also, the floorboards magically repair themselves? Odie sneezes, giving away the hiding spot. What is it with dogs and sneezing giving away where they're hiding? Same thing happened in Scooby-Doo and the Skybird chase. It's actually happened a lot in Scooby-Doo. The ghost chased the two across the pier. Odie falls, but is able to get up on his own and to dive off the pier. However, Garfield he didn't know how to swim. And it's up to Odie to save his lazy bum. Garfield mopes for a moment about how that night was the worst he ever had, just like the old man said. But then Odie notices the boat with the candy on it, as the old man had left it on the other side of the river after he got there. Just like Scooby-Doo found the moon rover and chariot. Seriously, am I not the only one who's seeing a connection here? It's just a coincidence, I know, but that's just uncanny. The special ends with Garfield giving Odie his entire half of the candy for saving Garfield. Aw, that is out of character, but it's so heartwarming. There's a last joke here, but like last time, you should really watch the special for yourself. I did cut a lot out of it. I will say, though, that this is the first time I noticed it was the old man in that last joke. I'm really not sure how I missed that before. There's not really much to say about this special that I haven't already. All of the flaws were incredibly easy to overlook, and honestly, I only just noticed a couple of them. Including the one where Garfield says, "I'm the name of the queen," which is kind of the biggest problem right there. The ending might have been out of character, Garfield himself even having said so, but it was a good lesson. Yeah, that's right, this movie had a lesson. Actually, there's 2 lessons to be learned here. Don't be greedy, and karma's a...
Huh?
I honestly have to say this special earns the coveted 5 out of 5. Till next time, stay spooked.